Hello and welcome to another Smurd video, and today I am delighted to say I can finally review Spider-Man Clone Saga Volume 2, and I've waited patiently. I think it was released a couple of weeks ago for it to actually land on my doorstep. So first off, the cover is absolutely beautiful. I think I'm loving this cover more than the first one. And once again, we've got Peter Parker, we've got Ben Riley here, opposite sides kind of thing, creating some sort of clash. But I think in this volume, this is where they start coming together, and I think Peter Parker starts going off because he loses his powers halfway through, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. The side is the usual standard Marvel Omnibus, Spider-Man, Clone Saga 2, Maximum Clonage. Yeah, it did kind of get a bit out of hand towards the end. And these are the covers. And it covers Amazing Spider-Man 402 to 406. And it's got the new Warrior set in there, which is cool. And the Lost Years, I'm happy to have the Lost Years, where we find out what happened to Ben Riley during those 5 years, or we find out a little section of him, I guess is the term. You don't see a full 5 years as far as I'm aware. Some gum, very expensive as you can tell. I think I got it for £67, which in the UK is quite not a bad price, I find. I think that's kind of reasonable for omnibuses. Behind the dust cover is this lovely artwork straight on. That is pretty cool. And on the back we get this lovely fight scene, or it may have been a cover, I cannot recall. It's very, very beautiful, very well done, very nicely put on there. And here is the first inside cover. And here is all the writers, all the pencilers, which are two. Oh, sorry, not two. Inkers, colorists, letterers, etc., etc. And we get a spill, which probably runs you through the first volume as well. Yes, it looks like it does. And I'm sorry, that was really embarrassing. And there we go. On my soul. Some lovely artwork in the planet of the symbiotes. That's pretty cool. Good old 90s artwork. Peter losing his crap. I think this is probably where he finds out that he is the clone from Miles, who was really a jackal. I hope I haven't ruined that for whoever's reading this. If you haven't read it, I'm really sorry. Spoilers, sorry. It's like 20 years old, 23 years old. So I'll just show a few more pages before just doing a quick comparison with volume 1. And just say, as always, the binding here looks really strong. And it holds quite nicely. You know, I think I'm about halfway through. And that seems to be holding quite nicely, which is what you want. You want a strong binder, and Marvel always seem to have strong binders when they're doing these books, which is quite good. Okay, we've got Mary Jane, who's pregnant at this point. I was quite gutted how they kind of ended that story. Kind of always bugged me. It bugs me now that what happened in Brand New Day, if I'm I'm being honest. Although, you know, we got a bit of fun Spidey back, I guess. He was always fun to an extent, but he, you know, great power comes great responsibility and all that. And the series kind of ends with it obviously leading to the new Scarlet Spider, and I think, I can't remember if he's lost his powers at this point or he's losing his powers. I'm going to reread it because it's been a long time, to be fair. Which is a good thing. You don't want to read something that's still fresh in your mind. One thing I'm really happy, I loved the miniseries The Lost Years. It was as a kid growing up, it was one of my favorite things to read. In fact, this is when I was really into Spider-Man, reading it during the Clone Saga. So I probably liked it a bit more than, I guess, fans who had been reading the comics for, what, 20 odd years, etc. We get a little bit of spill, which is from J.M. back in '96, talking about, I guess, this part of the story, which is kind of cool. I don't need to show you all that. You're probably going to buy it anyway. In terms of extras, that's pretty much it. There's a few extra covers that we see. Nothing special, I would say. So it's been about a year since we got Volume 1, and with Volume 2, that pretty much completes the Clone Saga. As far as I could tell, you could tell me otherwise. So I'm really hoping that we next get Spider-Man, the Ben Reilly Chronicles, or whatever it's going to be called, because I really loved that series, and I kind of missed out on the trade paperbacks when they came out, several years ago. So I'm really hoping that we get some of that. These books together, they look beautiful. I generally wouldn't put them like this on the shelf. I don't have that kind of room, but you could, if you wanted your shelf to stand out, you could have them standing like this quite nicely, and they're quite contained. They don't move that much, so it's not essential to have them side by side, which is what I do, if I'm being honest with you. So let's look at them side by side, and once again, they look really, really nice. They look similar size. I think this is just slightly bigger than this side, but that's the finished article, and I think that looks beautiful. You know what, I was completely wrong. This actually has 47 and this has 46, so yeah, completely misjudged that. This is the back, so this is kind of what you got in the first one, in case you haven't seen my review. And then you got that, and once again, this is this. So just to finish it up, if you're a Spider-Man fanatic, and I think we've only had maybe 5-6 Spider-Man omnibuses that have been released compared to some of our franchise. X-Men has lots. I have lots of X-Men omnibuses. So Spider-Man, they're clearly going at a snail's pace, but to get the Clone Saga in this format is quite nice. The only thing to remember is it is bulky. You're not going to be able to pick it up and take it around with you and read it like a smaller book, so you need to bear that in mind. With me, when I'm reading these books, I will read them probably one chapter at a time, probably having it resting on something, sometimes my bed, sometimes my settee, etc., or the table, depending where I am in the house. So just bear that in mind. It is big, it is heavy, you can't just carry it around, but it looks beautiful on a shelf as part of a collection, which I'll quickly show you. And there it is on the shelf. So as you can see, it looks quite nice, and there's the other 3 Amazing Spider-Man volumes. So I'd like to say thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed my video. Follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook. Take care, embrace the geekiness.